Cowboys Nation, gather round, because it's time to talk about a bold move that could reshuffle this defense and resurrect the Dallas identity we all crave. In Week 5, the Cowboys got a glimpse of what's possible when their defensive line revs up. But make no mistake, the engine is sputtering, and that's why rumors linking them to Dolphins edge rusher Jaelan Phillips are not just noise. They might be the wake-up call this team needs. First, let's set the stage. Against the New York Jets, Dallas's defense finally delivered a dominant performance. The Cowboys recorded 5 sacks, with Justin Houston snagging 1.5 of them. For a unit mired in criticism, that kind of breaking through performance doesn't just build confidence, it demands notice. But here's the kicker. Even with that surge, the Cowboys still sit near the bottom in pressure metrics all season. 4 sacks, 13 QB hits, 50 hurries in 4 weeks. That's not just bad, it's a chasm of underperformance. Now, analysts like Josh Weil are saying Dallas shouldn't wait for the season to drift away. They should roll the dice now. The trade whispers have Daniels, Houston, and others looking at Dolphins' Jaelan Phillips as the missing piece. Phillips, when healthy, has flashed elite upside. In his last full season, he graded as the 4th best edge rusher per PFSN's LBI metric. That's the level of talent that has the power to flip weaknesses into advantages. But yes, injury history and availability are questions. Phillips has had health struggles through his pro career. Here's why this matters. The Cowboys' pass rush has not just been ineffective, it's been invisible. Without pressure, opposing QBs look like artistic painters, easily threading the needle through Dallas's back end. Clean pockets equals disaster. That's the reality, and that's why Phillips' potential is so tantalizing. You don't just add a sack machine. You force every offense to adjust, to chip him, to scheme differently. He demands attention, and that opens space for others. But trading for Phillips isn't without risk. You're trading draft capital, you're betting on him staying healthy, you're banking on chemistry. But the alternative, doing nothing while opponents carve you up, feels riskier. Dallas can't keep hoping the current group finds magic. They need reinforcements. Let's tie in what we already know. James Houston, a name many considered under the radar, is turning heads. In last week's game, he looked every bit like a difference maker.
He's been pushing for more snaps, and with injuries lurking, he may be ready for a bigger role. Sport DFW. Pair up Houston's rise with a trade for Phillips, and you've got rotation, urgency, experience, and a defense that may finally pressure the quarterback instead of chasing him.
And let's not forget, Dallas already added Jadeveon Clowney earlier this season, a veteran pass rusher with 58 career sacks. Reuters. So the framework is there. They've already dipped into veteran help. Phillips could be that upgrade over just Band-Aids. Cowboys fans, the telling moment here is whether Jerry Jones, Brian Schottenheimer, and the front office are truly willing to lean hard on defense. The offense is showing signs of life. Dak's precision, the run game carving yards, and weapons like Pickens stepping up. But offense alone won't win this division if the defense continues leaking. So here's what I'm asking you, Cowboys Nation. Do you believe trading for Jaelan Phillips is the move Dallas must make to salvage this season? Do you trust a combination of Houston, Clowney, and Phillips to resurrect the pass rush? Or do you think the current core still deserves a shot to prove themselves? Drop your opinion in the comments, hit that like button if you believe this defense needs a spark, and don't forget to subscribe to Dallas Game Day so you catch every rumor, every trade talk, and every pulse on this Cowboys season. Let's see if Dallas has the guts to take this leap, because right now, taking that risk might be the only path back to contender status.